Jesus was very fond of his friends Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, who lived in their parents' home in Bethany. He first met them when he and his family were invited into their home during a Passover visit to Jerusalem. Jesus and his parents were going to Jerusalem so Jesus could be confirmed as a son of the covenant. Jesus became close friends with Lazarus, Martha, and Mary as a result of this visit. The three stories involving Jesus, Martha, and Mary in this video are found in both the papers of the Urantia book and one or more of the biblical Gospels. Biblical references are given for each story. The authors of the Urantia book gave us some insight into the personality of Martha in the following scene from paper 162. This story is also found in the Bible in Luke 10:38 through 42. Martha made ready to serve the evening meal. It should be explained that Martha was unnecessarily distracted by numerous needless tasks, and that she was encumbered by many trivial cares. That was her disposition. As Martha busied herself with all these supposed duties, she was perturbed because Mary did nothing to help. Therefore she went to Jesus and said, "Master, do you not care that my sister has left me alone to do all of the serving? Will you not bid her to come and help me?" Jesus answered,
"Martha, Martha, why are you always anxious about so many things and troubled by so many trifles? Only one thing is really worthwhile, and since Mary has chosen this good and needful part, I shall not take it away from her. But when will both of you learn to live as I have taught you, both serving in cooperation, and both refreshing your souls in unison? Can you not learn that there is a time for everything, that the lesser matters of life should give way before the greater things of the heavenly kingdom?"
Unquote. In another incident described in paper 172, Mary did something quite surprising that brought her criticism from one of the apostles. This scene takes place at a feast at the home of Simon, a neighbor of Lazarus, Martha, and Mary. Mary, the sister of Lazarus, anointed Jesus' head and feet with precious oil and was criticized by Judas and some in the crowd. This story can be found in the Bible in Matthew 26, 6 through 10, Mark 14, 3 through 6, and John 11 and 12, 1 through 8. The authors of the Urantia book tell us how Jesus reacted to the criticism. Jesus, knowing what they thought and hearing what they said, put his hand upon Mary's head as she knelt by his side, and, with a kindly expression upon his face, said,
"Let her alone, every one of you. Why do you trouble her about this, seeing that she has done a good thing in her heart? To you who murmur and say that this ointment should have been sold, and the money given to the poor, let me say that you have the poor always with you, so that you may minister to them at any time it seems good to you. But I shall not always be with you. I go soon to my Father." In the doing of this, Mary has reproved all of you in that, by this act, she evinces faith in what I have said about my death and ascension to my Father in heaven. I say to you that in the ages to come, wherever this gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world, what she has done will be spoken of in memory of her.
Unquote. In paper 168, the authors of the Urantia book tell the story of the resurrection of Lazarus. This story is also told in the Bible in John 11, 1 through 44. Though Martha and Mary had sent for Jesus before Lazarus died, Jesus delayed his departure and did not arrive until Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. Jesus sent a message telling them that Lazarus' sickness is not really to the death, but they did not understand his meaning. Martha and Mary were understandably quite distressed, as the authors of the Urantia book relate. When Martha met Jesus, she fell at his feet, exclaiming, "Master, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Many fears were passing through Martha's mind, but she gave expression to no doubt, nor did she venture to criticize or question the Master's conduct as related to Lazarus' death. When she had spoken, Jesus reached down and, lifting her upon her feet, said,
"Only have faith, Martha, and your brother shall rise again."
Then answered Martha, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection of the last day. And even now I believe that whatever you shall ask of God, our Father will give you." Then said Jesus, looking straight into the eyes of Martha,
"I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he dies, yet shall he live. In truth, whoever lives and believes in me shall never really die. Martha, do you believe this?"
And Martha answered the Master, "Yes, I have long believed that you are the deliverer, the Son of the living God, even he who should come to this world." Jesus having inquired for Mary, Martha went at once into the house, and whispering to her sister said, "The Master is here and has asked for you." And when Mary heard this, she rose up quickly and hastened out to meet Jesus. Unquote. After Jesus comforted Martha and Mary, he moved to the tomb and ordered the stone be rolled away from the tomb entrance. Then the sisters and their friends, as well as the apostles, watched in wonder and awe as Jesus performed one of the most amazing of his miracles. He stood before the tomb and cried out in a loud voice,
"Lazarus, come forth!"
And in a few moments Lazarus came out of the tomb. The people observing this were understandably frightened, as the authors observe. All save the apostles, with Martha and Mary, fled to the house. They were pale with fright and overcome with astonishment. While some tarried, many hastened to their homes. Lazarus greeted Jesus and the apostles, and asked the meaning of the grave cloths and why he had awakened in the garden. Jesus and the apostles drew to one side, while Martha told Lazarus of his death, burial, and resurrection. She had to explain to him that he had died on Sunday and was now brought back to life on Thursday, inasmuch as he had had no consciousness of time since falling asleep in death. Unquote. Lazarus was forced to flee to Philadelphia to be with Abner and the other believers after the Sanhedrin decreed his death. After Jesus' death and resurrection, Martha and Mary joined Lazarus there.